Okay, hello and welcome to this how to paint my F14D video. So as you can tell, I've primed the model. I'm now going in with glossy black Vallejo and I'm thinning it with Humbrol acrylic thinner. This is a new product I've started using recently. It's really good, and I am just colouring the vertical stabilisers on the model. Basically following the instruction sheet that came with the kit, because this kit actually contains a lot of decal. Well, not as many as some of the other 1/44th scale Revel kits, but it contains a fair few, and better to decal placement is a glossy surface. Excuse the aeroplane flying past there. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just basically painting the back part of the cockpit as well. That's in a glossy black surface as well, and down the nose. I was actually going to do some pre-shading on this kit, but I thought the panel lines are so fine on this kit, it's not really going to make a great deal of difference. Probably actually make it worse. So as you can see, I'm just giving it a second coat, because I do like to apply more thin coats than one thick coat. So I'm just going over the area. So now I was just checking the instruction manual quickly just to see if there's any other areas I needed to paint glossy black. Just these little tiny fins below the engine exhausts. Oh, by the way, I painted the cockpit separately and I masked it off when I built the kit, so you'd have probably seen that in the previous video. So I'm just going around making sure that all the areas that are meant to be glossy black are glossy black. So now I'm just painting the canopy, which I pre-masked earlier on because it's the same colour. I kind of gave this a different treatment as well. Saw it online. You can use Humbrol Clear to actually give your cockpits a realistic glass finish. So what I did is I dipped the canopy first, let it dry, and now I sprayed it grey when I primed the kit, and then I went over it with glossy black. Sorry, my hand's in the way there. So now I'm just going in with some finer lines, just trying to get some shading done. So now I am using natural sea grey and natural grey mixed with acrylic thinners 50-50. This is the top side colour I'm using, because it calls for two different colours of grey for this kit. So it kind of looks like I'm not actually applying any paint to this, but it's a really subtle colour. I've masked off all the areas that I previously sprayed glossy black as well. So this is just a couple of thin coats. Handy thing to know about the acrylic thinners by Humbrol, they actually contain a retarder in them, so the paint has a longer drying time, which means the transition from the airbrush to the model, it doesn't dry on its way, so you don't get that orange peel effect you can sometimes get when airbrushing large kits or areas. So I'm just applying a couple of coats of this just to get the nice grey colour down. Although I did kind of snap the ratchet inside the wings of this kit. There was just some really tiny teeth inside it. So now I'm going in with sea grey. It's rather battered. And again, thinning it with acrylic thinners. And now I'm spraying the underside and going to do some blending effects to try and blend in the colours. Being very careful not to go too close where I'm going to wipe out the paint I've already painted down the sides. It's just going slow and steady, rather low PSA on the airbrush, just take your time. Obviously it looks like I'm going rather fast because I've speeded the video up, otherwise this video would be about 3 hours long. Sorry, it's out shot there a little bit. So I'm just using a cocktail stick to hold the model in place. I actually drilled a hole in this kit which will facilitate the flying base, because it's going on diorama when it's finished. Now I thinned the paint a little bit more, and now I'm just using it as a blending technique now, just to blend in the two colours between the top half and the lower half of the plane, whilst I'm giving it another quick coat just to get a nice solid colour. Okay, so now I'm using Vallejo Model Air steel paint, and I'm going to be brush painting this over the exhausts of the jets. This has been thinned with a little bit of water, because it's already pre-thinned anyway for airbrush use, just giving it an even layer. Don't forget to get the inside of the engines as well, because there's a lot of detail in this kit. I'm using one of my Games Workshop brushes. This is the one from the Heavy Metal paint set from a couple of years ago. This is a Kolinsky stable hairbrush. Pretty pricey, they were about £35 for a pair, but very nice brushes. They've served me well up to now, as long as you look after your brushes. This is the standard size, which is sort of a size 1, or something like a Winsor & Newton size 7, or 7 series. So now I'm using natural grey again, and this is just touching up areas where my undercoat kind of got sprayed up. And obviously the missiles are a different colour to the actual fuselage as well. This is just here just to paint the drop tanks and such. It's a slightly different shade of grey. Very subtle colours on this kit. So these are the wing missile pods, or missile racks. They were sprayed with the same light grey, the undercarriage, and now I'm just obviously picking out the missiles with natural grey. Got them on the end of a bamboo stick and a crocodile clip. Use these for spraying parts when they're by themselves, like for my Gundam kits and stuff. I made these little rack tree. I have a lump of foam and I clip all my pieces to it. Because especially with these small scale kits, it's very difficult to actually hold the piece and paint it. Because the whole kit pretty much fits in the palm of my hand. It's very small scale. But superb detail on these Rebel kits. I can't recommend them enough for people who are wanting a small kit but with a lot of detail packed in. These are really good for it. I've got a couple more as well that I'll be showing you later. A little tip for you guys: if you are building this kit, don't make the mistake I did where I actually built the missiles on the kit. You'll need to keep the missiles separate because of the decal placement, which I kind of followed the instructions to the letter, but found after I'd finished building it that I couldn't get the decals on, because there is decals that wrap around the weapons, so you're very difficult to actually get those decals on when they're glued in place, and as well with the missiles that are down the centre of the fuselage as well. So now I'm using flat white by Vallejo model colour. This is to paint the ends of the warheads for the missiles. Making sure I've got nice solid coats on there. And again, with the missiles on the arms as well. The missile racks on the wings rather. I had painted the Sidewinder, which is the little missile next to it, with a mix of copper and grey for the fins. I kind of didn't get that footage in. I believe they're sidewinders anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to give the entire model a coat of Umbro Clear. This is a gloss varnish that's straight to airbrush. It requires no thinning whatsoever. It's basically like spraying water. So when you do spray this, make sure you have your airbrush on a very, very low PSI. I tend to do this about 10ish. Takes around about 20 minutes to half an hour to dry. Just making sure everything's got a good coat of Umbro Clear. And that'll be it for this video. I'll be showing you how the finished product after I've done this, which is an enamel wash was applied and then clean it up with some cotton wool buds. You've probably seen videos of me doing this before. And then on to decal placement. So thank you very much for watching.